The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. At first, only a few scientists at the Global Space Monitoring Station noticed the unusual pattern hidden within normal background radiation. By afternoon, the entire scientific community was buzzing with excitement. "This is definitely not natural," said Dr. Olivia Wright, staring at the repeating sequence on her monitor. Her fingers moved quickly across the keyboard as she ran another analysis. Captain Alex Morgan leaned over her shoulder, his brow furrowed. "You're certain it's artificial?" 100%, Olivia replied. "The pattern repeats exactly every 67 seconds. Nature doesn't work that way." Within hours, the president had assembled a special response team. Captain Morgan, with his military background and diplomatic training, was the obvious choice to lead it. Dr. Wright joined as science officer, bringing her expertise in xenolinguistics and communication theory. For weeks, they worked around the clock to decode the message. It came from a star system just 12 light-years away, practically next door in cosmic terms. The signal contained mathematical sequences, atomic structures, and eventually, something that resembled language. "I think we've got it," Olivia said one night, her eyes red from lack of sleep. "They're introducing themselves. They call their alliance the Galactic Federation of Advanced Species." Alex studied the translation, and they're inviting us to respond. More or less, they periodically scan for new civilizations that have reached space communication capability. The team crafted humanity's first interstellar message with great care. They included information about Earth, human biology, social structures, and peaceful intentions. Everyone felt the weight of speaking for all humanity. When the reply came 3 weeks later, the excitement in the monitoring station quickly turned to confusion. "This can't be right," Olivia said, double-checking her translation algorithms. "What does it say?" Alex asked. "They're dismissing us. They say we don't meet their criteria for meaningful engagement." Olivia looked up from her screen. "They've classified us as a pre-emergent species not yet worthy of diplomatic relations." The Federation message explained that humanity had not demonstrated sufficient technological advancement or social cohesion to join their interstellar community. Earth was to be cataloged as a developing world, to be checked again in approximately 200 years. "They're treating us like we're children," Alex said, his voice tight with frustration. The team sent more messages, trying different approaches and communication methods. Each response became increasingly curt. The Federation representatives seemed annoyed by humanity's persistence. 6 months after the initial contact, a small object entered the solar system. It moved at incredible speed, slowing only as it reached Mars' orbit. Earth's most powerful telescopes revealed a sleek craft unlike anything humans had built. "They sent an observer," Olivia said, watching the live feed from space telescopes. "The alien ship made no attempt to hide its presence. It systematically scanned Earth and all human installations in space and on the Moon. It ignored all attempts at communication. 3 days later, the ship departed, accelerating to impossible speeds. Soon after, a final message arrived from the Federation. Species assessment complete. Classification: pre-emergence technological civilization with concerning aggressive tendencies. Status: under observation. No direct contact authorized. Reassessment scheduled in 210 standard cycles." In the emergency meeting that followed, Alex stood before world leaders with a grim expression. "They see us as primitive," he said. "They've dismissed us as unworthy of their attention, but they've made a critical mistake." "What's that?" asked the Secretary General. "They've underestimated us," Alex replied. "And throughout human history, that has always been a dangerous miscalculation." No one in the room realized just how prophetic those words would soon prove to be. Lieutenant Ryan Collins stared at his radar screen, blinking to make sure he wasn't seeing things. The anomalies near Jupiter's orbit had appeared suddenly, 6 objects moving in perfect formation, decelerating from speeds no human craft could achieve. "Commander Foster," he called out, keeping his voice steady despite his racing heart. "You need to see this." Commander Nicole Foster moved quickly to his station. Her expression remained neutral, but her shoulders tensed as she studied the readings. "How long have they been there?" she asked. "They just appeared, ma'am. No approach trajectory. It's like they jumped in somehow." Nicole tapped her comm unit. "Foster to all stations. Silent alert. This is not a drill." Throughout the orbital defense platform, personnel moved with practiced efficiency. Weapons systems powered up discreetly. Observation drones launched toward Jupiter. The first images came through an hour later. The objects were definitely ships, sleek, silver vessels with no visible propulsion systems. They moved through Jupiter's moons, scanning everything. "Federation," Nicole said grimly, recognizing the design from the briefing files. "What do we do?" Ryan asked. "Watch and prepare." The Federation ships ignored all attempts at communication. For 3 days, they methodically surveyed the outer planets. Then, without warning, 2 broke formation and accelerated toward Earth. Global defense systems activated automatically. Military bases worldwide went on high alert. The president addressed the world, urging calm while acknowledging the potential threat. The alien vessels stopped just beyond lunar orbit. They made no aggressive moves, but their position gave them perfect oversight of Earth's defenses and orbital infrastructure. In the emergency meeting at United Nations Space Command, Admiral Henry Garcia didn't mince words. "They're mapping our capabilities," he said, "learning our strengths and weaknesses." "But why?" asked the Chinese delegate. "They already dismissed us as primitive." "Maybe they're reconsidering," Nicole suggested. "She'd been called to Earth to brief the Council. Or maybe they don't like how quickly we're advancing." The standoff continued for 2 weeks. Then came the ultimatum. It arrived simultaneously at every major communication center worldwide. The message was clear. Earth was to accept classification as a protected primitive species. Human expansion would be limited to Earth and its moon. All deep space exploration would cease. The Federation would establish a monitoring station in the asteroid belt to ensure compliance. In return, Earth would receive appropriate guidance when the Federation deemed humanity ready. The global response was immediate and unified. Humanity would not surrender its future to alien dictates. The Federation's answer came swiftly. 3 more ships appeared near Mars. One demonstration was all it took, a brief energy pulse that disabled every satellite in Earth orbit for 17 minutes. When systems came back online, a new message waited. Comply within 30 Earth days, or face civilization adjustment. In the most secure facility beneath Geneva, world leaders gathered to assess their options. "Their technology is centuries beyond ours," said the science advisor, showing images of the alien ships. "A direct confrontation would be suicide." "So we surrender?" asked the Brazilian president, her voice sharp with anger. "No," Admiral Garcia said. "We fight smart." He activated a holographic display showing a secret facility in the Atacama Desert. "We've been reverse engineering technology from the observer ship scans. We found something interesting. Their shields have a fluctuation pattern, a weakness we might exploit." "With what?" someone asked. "Our weapons are toys compared to theirs." "Then we'll build new ones," Nicole said firmly. "They think we're primitive and predictable. That's their mistake." Around the table, faces showed determination mixed with fear. Humanity stood alone against an advanced alien federation. The odds seemed impossible, but no one in that room was ready to surrender. Kate Wilson crawled through the narrow maintenance shaft, tools clinking softly against her belt. The underground facility hummed with constant activity, even at 3 in the morning. No one slept much these days. "Try it now," she called to her team. The prototype shield generator pulsed with blue light, creating a dome around the test chamber. Kate checked her readings and smiled. This was it, the breakthrough they needed. Above ground, in the main conference room, Admiral Garcia presented humanity's official response to the Federation ultimatum. "We have no choice but to accept your terms," he said, his face grim on the broadcast that would be transmitted to the alien ships. "Earth will comply with the Federation's classification. We request 60 days to cease our space operations in an orderly manner." When the transmission ended, Garcia turned to the assembled leaders. "That should buy us time. They believe we're surrendering." "How much time do we need?" asked the Indian Prime Minister. "Kate Wilson's team has adapted the shield frequency data, 4 weeks minimum to implement it in our new vessels." "And if the Federation detects our preparations?" someone asked. "Then we fight with what we have," Garcia replied simply. Around the world, massive underground facilities hummed with activity. Officially, they were decommissioning centers for space technology. In reality, they were building something new. Kate wiped sweat from her forehead as she examined the shield modulator. "The beauty of their technology is also its weakness," she explained to her team. "Their shields pulse at exact intervals, perfectly mathematical. They probably consider our random fluctuations primitive. But that randomness is our advantage," added engineer Pete Duncan. "They won't expect it." "Exactly," Kate said. "We're building our jammers to hit precisely when their shields cycle. For a microsecond, they'll be vulnerable." In orbit, Federation observers watched as humans appeared to dismantle their space stations. They saw rockets grounded, satellites deactivated, all according to their demands. They didn't detect the small launches from remote locations, tiny crafts carrying the essential components to secret assembly points in the asteroid belt. They didn't notice the modified mining vessels that disappeared into the dark side of the moon. 20 days into the surrender period, the global leaders met again. "We have 12 ships ready," Admiral Garcia reported. "Small, fast, and equipped with Wilson's shield technology. Each carries a single high-yield weapon designed to penetrate Federation defenses." 12 ships against their fleet. The Australian representative looked skeptical. "We don't need to defeat their entire civilization," Garcia explained. "We just need to shock them, show them the cost of trying to cage humanity." "And if we fail?" asked the French president. "Then at least we tried," Garcia said quietly. "Better to fight than live forever as pets." When Admiral Garcia introduced the volunteer pilots, the room fell silent. They were the best from every nation, men and women who understood they might not return. Captain Sam Butler, the squadron leader, stepped forward. "We're ready, sir. Operation Last Warning is go." 3 days later, Kate stood in the hidden hangar beneath the lunar surface, making final adjustments to the lead ship's systems. "Is it going to work?" asked Sam, watching her hands move across the controls. Kate paused. "The theory is solid. Their shields have a pattern. We've programmed yours to counter that pattern." "That's not a yes." She looked up at him. "In engineering, there are no guarantees, but I believe in what we've built, and I believe in who's flying it." Sam nodded, his face solemn as he prepared to board his ship. Across the hangar, 11 other pilots did the same. None of them spoke of fear, though all felt it. The Federation had no idea what was coming. Maya Patel felt sweat beading under her flight suit as the countdown reached 0. Her ship, little more than a weapon with engines attached, detached from its hiding place on a small asteroid. Around her, 11 other craft did the same. "Strike team. Radio silence from here on." Sam's voice came through the comm. "Remember your training. See you on the other side." Maya took a deep breath as her tiny ship accelerated. The target was the Federation outpost near Saturn's rings, the one they thought humans couldn't detect. Intelligence suggested it housed only a minimal crew, overseeing the quarantine of Earth. The plan was simple but dangerous. Approach on minimal power to avoid detection. Use the rings for cover. Strike fast. Show the Federation that humans wouldn't be contained. On Earth, Director Greg Martinez watched from the hidden command center. Screens showed the positions of the 12 ships, now barely visible even to Earth's advanced tracking systems. "How long until they reach the target?" he asked. 97 minutes, replied his tactical officer, assuming they maintain current speed. Greg nodded. "And the Federation ships near Earth?" "No change in position. They don't suspect anything." The minutes ticked by slowly. In the command center, no one spoke above a whisper, as if the Federation might somehow hear them. Maya's ship slipped between ice chunks in Saturn's outer rings. The Federation outpost grew larger on her screen. A gleaming structure with curved surfaces that reminded her of a giant seashell. No weapons were visible, but intelligence warned they were there. "In position," Sam's voice whispered through the secure channel. "On my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark." Maya hit her thrusters. Her ship burst from the ring debris, joined by 11 others from different positions. The element of surprise was complete. The Federation outpost had no time to raise shields. Kate's calculations had been perfect. When the human weapons struck, they hit during the microsecond gap in the shield cycle. Maya watched as her targeting computer confirmed a direct hit. The outpost's central section crumpled. Emergency force fields activated, but too late to prevent catastrophic damage. "Secondary targets, engage," Sam ordered. Maya banked her ship sharply, heading for the communications array. Her weapon struck true, vaporizing the alien technology. In just over 3 minutes it was done. The outpost wasn't destroyed, but it was crippled beyond immediate repair. More importantly, its distress signals had been cut off before they could be sent. "Strike team, return to rendezvous point," Sam commanded. As Maya turned her ship toward the extraction coordinates, she saw the damaged outpost growing smaller behind her. She felt no joy in the destruction, only grim satisfaction that the mission had succeeded. On Earth, the command center erupted in controlled celebration. Greg Martins allowed himself a brief smile before focusing on the screens again. "Phase 1 complete," he announced. "Now we wait for their response." They didn't wait long. 6 hours later, the Federation ships near Earth suddenly changed position. They moved into attack formation, weapons visibly charging. "They know," Greg said quietly. Instead of attacking, however, the alien ships transmitted a message. "This violation of protection terms is unacceptable." Explanation demanded immediately. The response had been prepared in advance. Earth officially expressed shock and horror at the rogue operation by extremists who opposed the Federation's protection. Earth would cooperate fully to apprehend these criminals. Even as this message was sent, the second wave of human ships was preparing to launch. In her small quarters at the lunar base, Maya removed her flight suit with shaking hands. The adrenaline was wearing off, leaving exhaustion in its wake. Yet beneath the fatigue was a fierce pride. Humanity had struck back. A soft knock at her door revealed Sam, his face showing the same mix of fatigue and determination. "Rest while you can," he told her. "They'll be coming for us now." Maya nodded. "Let them come. We'll be ready." Major Lisa Davis studied the holographic display showing the approaching Federation fleet. 27 ships, all larger than anything humans had built, moving in perfect formation toward Earth. "They're not hiding their intentions anymore," she observed. The command center beneath the Rocky Mountains had become humanity's war room. Representatives from all Earth nations worked side by side, preparing for the coming battle. "How long do we have?" asked General Powell. "At their current speed, 6 hours until they reach lunar orbit," Lisa replied. "Our defensive positions are ready." No one mentioned the obvious, that conventional defenses would be useless against such advanced technology. Earth's hope lay in the unconventional. In orbit around Mars, Dr. Eric Ramirez made final adjustments to his prototype. The adaptive shield generator was built from salvaged Federation technology and human innovation. It wasn't as powerful as alien shields, but it had one crucial advantage: it learned. "Beginning final test," Eric announced to his team. "Fire when ready." A test drone fired an energy pulse identical to Federation weapons. The shields surrounding Eric's lab absorbed the impact, weakened, then immediately strengthened where it had been hit. Within milliseconds, it had adapted to the specific energy signature. "It works," Eric said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Transmit the specs to all combat units immediately." Throughout the solar system, human forces prepared. Unlike the Federation's organized fleet, Earth's defenders were scattered, hiding in asteroid fields, behind moons, in the atmosphere of gas giants. Small, fast ships with crews willing to risk everything. The Federation fleet approached with overwhelming confidence. Their first volley targeted Earth's visible defenses, satellite networks, and orbital platforms. These exploded spectacularly, creating a light show visible from the ground. What the Federation didn't realize was that these were decoys. The real defense began when Major Davis gave the order. Operation Hornet's Nest. Execute. From a dozen hidden locations, Earth's ships emerged. They were tiny compared to the Federation vessels, no larger than fighter jets, but they moved with incredible speed and unpredictability. The Federation's first response was almost casual. A few ships broke formation to intercept what they saw as minor annoyances. This was exactly what Lisa had planned for. "Swarm pattern, Alpha," she ordered. "Target engines only." The human ships dodged the initial Federation fire, their adaptive shields absorbing what they couldn't avoid. They swarmed around the nearest alien vessel like angry bees, each firing precisely at the same point on the engine housing. The first Federation ship faltered. Its propulsion damage. The aliens adjusted quickly, bringing more weapons to bear, but the human pilots were already moving to their next targets. The asteroid field. Lisa commanded, "Draw them in." The human ships retreated toward the debris field between Mars and Jupiter. The larger Federation vessels followed, confident in their superior firepower. What followed was a deadly game of hide and seek. The human ships used the asteroids for cover, appearing just long enough to strike before vanishing again. The Federation ships couldn't maneuver as quickly in the dense field, making them vulnerable to hit-and-run attacks. On the main Federation command ship, the alien leader received disturbing reports. 3 vessels damaged, 1 communications relay destroyed, 2 scout ships missing. These primitives were not fighting as expected. They weren't standing their ground or protecting their planet directly. Instead, they were fighting like pests. Annoying, persistent, impossible to eradicate completely. Back on Earth, Lisa watched the battle unfold. The losses were mounting. 5 human ships destroyed. Their brave pilots lost. But the Federation was paying a much higher price than they had anticipated. "They expected us to surrender or die quickly," Lisa told the assembled leaders. "They didn't expect us to be smart." Dr. Ramirez's voice came through the comm. "Major, the shield data is evolving with each engagement. The more they hit us, the better we get at blocking them." Lisa nodded grimly. "Then we keep hitting back. They may destroy some of us, but they'll learn that subjugating Earth will cost them dearly." As night fell over the command center, the battle raged on among the stars. Humanity was bloody but unbowed. Commander Daniel Harris gripped the edge of his command chair as his ship emerged from the shadow of Neptune. Behind him, the 7 remaining vessels of Strike Team Bravo followed in tight formation. Their mission was reckless, perhaps suicidal, but potentially decisive. "Status report," Daniel ordered, his voice steady despite the tension. "All systems operational," his second-in-command replied. "Stealth systems functioning at 97% capacity. Federation patrols detect nothing." Daniel nodded. "Communications check." Sophia Reyes, the team's communications specialist, adjusted her headset. "All channels secure. I'm still receiving the Federation's internal transmissions. They have no idea we're here." Sophia's skill at breaking alien encryption codes had proven invaluable. For the past week, she had been intercepting messages between Federation ships. What she discovered had led directly to this mission. "They're scared," Sophia had told the War Council 3 days earlier. Their leadership is divided. Some want to withdraw from Earth completely. Others demand a full-scale assault to put down the human rebellion once and for all. The Council had seen an opportunity. If humans could strike at the heart of the Federation's command structure, their regional hub beyond Neptune, they might tip the scales toward those advocating withdrawal. Now, Daniel's small fleet approached the massive Federation station. It resembled a silver snowflake, with 6 arms extending from a central hub. According to intelligence, it coordinated all Federation activities in Earth's solar system. "Remember the plan," Daniel said to his crew. "We hit the north and south communication arrays simultaneously, then target their shield generators. We don't need to destroy the station, just blind it and leave it vulnerable." The human ships accelerated, using the minimal profile that Dr. Ramirez's stealth technology provided. They were halfway to their target when disaster struck. "Commander, they've spotted us." Sophia's voice rose in alarm. New encryption just activated on their channels. Daniel didn't hesitate. Plan B. All ships, attack pattern Omega. Now, the human vessels broke formation, each heading for its predetermined target. They had lost surprise, but they still had speed and determination. Federation defenses came online, energy weapons lashing out across the void. 2 human ships erupted into fireballs. Daniel gritted his teeth and drove his vessel harder. "Evasive maneuvers," he ordered. "Weapons hot. Strike on my mark." His ship shuddered as a Federation beam grazed their shields. Systems flickered momentarily before stabilizing. "Shield integrity at 60%, reported his tactical officer. "Keep going," Daniel commanded. The distance closed rapidly. 3 more human ships were hit, their crews lost in silent explosions. But the remaining vessels pressed forward relentlessly. "In range," announced the weapons officer. "Fire everything," Daniel ordered. Human missiles and energy beams struck the Federation station simultaneously. The advanced alien shields flared brilliantly, but Dr. Ramirez's calculations proved correct. The human weapons, specifically calibrated to the shield frequency, penetrated at precisely the right moment. Explosions bloomed across the station's northern arm. Communication arrays shattered. Secondary explosions followed as power systems overloaded. Daniel's ship rocked violently as return fire struck them directly. "Shields failing," someone shouted. "Stay on target," Daniel replied calmly. Second volley fire. Another barrage of human weapons struck the weakened section of the station. This time, they penetrated deeply, causing catastrophic damage to the command center. "We've done it," Sophia reported, listening to the panicked Federation communications. "Their central coordination is offline." Daniel allowed himself a brief smile. "Withdraw. All ships, get clear and rendezvous at." His words were cut short as a massive energy beam struck his vessel. Warning alarms blared throughout the ship. Fires erupted on the bridge. "Engine core destabilizing," his engineer reported. "We can't outrun them." Daniel looked at his crew, saw the understanding in their eyes. They had known this might be a one-way mission. "Sophia," he said quietly, "make sure the fleet gets our data. Tell them what we learned here." She nodded, tears in her eyes as she transmitted their findings to Earth. Daniel turned to his pilot. "Set course for their main power core." "Sir," the young man questioned. "If we're going down," Daniel said firmly, "we're taking as much of that station with us as possible." The damaged human ship turned, engines flaring one last time as it accelerated toward the heart of the Federation station. In its wake, the surviving vessels of Strike Team Bravo slipped away, carrying with them the intelligence that might save Earth. Jack Bennett straightened his uniform as he approached the massive door of the Federation Council chamber. As Earth's chosen ambassador, he carried the hopes of an entire planet on his shoulders. Behind him walked the small human delegation, scientists, military officers, and political leaders from various nations. "Remember," Jack said quietly to his team, No matter what happens in there, stay calm. This is our one chance." The doors swung open silently, revealing a circular room with tiered seating. Representatives from 24 alien species watched the humans enter. Some showed curiosity, others thinly veiled contempt. The Federation's Supreme Counselor, a tall being with iridescent skin, spoke first. "The Council recognizes the representatives of Earth. You have requested this audience following the recent conflicts." Jack stepped forward. "We thank the Council for agreeing to meet. We come seeking peace, but on terms that respect our sovereignty." A murmur ran through the alien delegates. The Supreme Counselor's expression hardened. "Peace. After your unprovoked attacks on Federation installations. After the destruction of the Regional Command Center." The alien's voice carried both anger and disbelief. "You were offered protection and classification appropriate to your development level." "We were offered subjugation," Jack replied evenly. "Humanity does not accept being caged, no matter how comfortable the cage." Another council member leaned forward. "Your species has barely mastered basic space travel. Your society still fights amongst itself. You are nowhere near ready for galactic citizenship." Jack nodded. "Perhaps we're not ready by your standards, but that decision should be ours to make, not yours." He gestured, and one of his team activated a holographic projector. The device hummed to life, displaying images above the council floor. "Before you dismiss us," Jack continued, "we ask you to consider what you're really facing." The hologram showed scenes from human history, ancient battles, modern wars, the struggle for survival across millennia. It showed humans persisting against overwhelming odds, rebuilding after disasters, fighting on when logic said to surrender. "We are not the most advanced species," Jack acknowledged. "Our technology doesn't match yours. But we have something that perhaps you've forgotten in your centuries of unchallenged dominance." The images shifted to show Commander Daniel Harris' final attack, the small human ship driving into the heart of the Federation station, even as it broke apart. "We will sacrifice everything for freedom. If fighting continues, you will win eventually. You have more ships, more weapons, more resources. But ask yourselves, what will that victory cost you?" Jack paused, letting his words sink in. The council chamber had grown completely silent. "How many Federation lives are you willing to lose to subjugate one small planet? How many ships? How many stations? Because we will never stop fighting. Not until the last human falls." The Supreme Counselor studied Jack for a long moment. "You speak of peace, yet threaten war." "I speak reality," Jack replied. "We prefer peace. We want to learn from you, trade with you, join this galactic community as equals. But we will not be classified as primitives to be managed. That is not negotiable." He gestured again, and the hologram changed to show Earth, blue, beautiful, and small in the cosmic scale. "This is our home. We will defend it with everything we have. That is humanity's final warning to the galaxy." The council withdrew to deliberate. Hours passed as the human delegation waited. When they returned, the Supreme Counselor's demeanor had changed subtly. "The Federation Council has reached a decision," the alien announced. "Earth will be reclassified as a sovereign developing world, with rights to self-determination within its solar system." Murmurs of surprise and some protest ran through the chamber. The counselor raised a hand for silence. "This classification acknowledges your species' unique determination, while recognizing your technological limitations. Federation observers will remain at the edge of your system, but will not interfere with your development." Jack stepped forward again. "And our ships. Our right to explore beyond our system. Registered human vessels may travel established trade routes with appropriate safety measures," the counselor conceded. "Further details will be established in formal treaties." As Jack signed the agreement that would shape humanity's future among the stars, he felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Earth had won its freedom not through superior strength, but through sheer, stubborn refusal to surrender. 5 years after the treaty signing, Earth had changed dramatically. The skyline of New Geneva gleamed with a mixture of human and alien architecture. At the center stood the Galactic Embassy Complex, where representatives from dozens of species now conducted business with humanity. Andy Foster, son of Commander Nickel Foster, gazed out the window of his apartment at the bustling city below. Alien visitors mingled with humans on the streets. Trading vessels from distant worlds docked at the orbital platform visible in the clear morning sky. His comm unit chimed. "Andy, you're going to be late," came Dr. Olivia Wright's voice. She had aged since first contact, silver streaks now prominent in her dark hair, but her energy remained unchanged. "On my way," he replied, grabbing his uniform jacket. As one of Earth's first deep space diplomats, Andy had responsibilities he couldn't ignore, even on this anniversary day. The memorial ceremony was held in Unity Park, where a monument listed the names of those who had died defending Earth. Commander Daniel Harris' name was at the top, his sacrifice now legendary among both humans and aliens. Admiral Garcia, now retired but still commanding respect, delivered the main address. 5 years ago today, we signed a treaty that recognized humanity's place among the stars. We earned that place not just through fighting skill, but through our unwillingness to surrender our freedom. In the crowd, Andy spotted Maya Patel, now Captain Patel, one of the few original strike team pilots who had survived. Next to her stood Kate Wilson, whose shield technology had since been refined and adapted for peaceful uses throughout human territory. After the ceremony, the smaller gathering at the secure facility beneath the embassy included representatives from 7 Federation species. Relations had evolved from tense tolerance to cautious respect. "Ambassador Bennett," said the Novan delegate, addressing Jack, who had continued in his role, "the Federation Council has approved your proposal for the Joint Research Initiative." Jack nodded, his expression pleased but professional. "Excellent news. Earth's scientists are eager to begin collaboration." The Novan, a being with crystalline features that caught the light, leaned closer. Privately, "Ambassador, many in the Federation now acknowledge that the classification system was flawed. Your species has made remarkable progress since integration." "We had a strong motivation," Jack replied. "Nothing drives human innovation like necessity." In orbit above Earth, the U.S. Unity, humanity's first true interstellar vessel, prepared for its maiden voyage. Its design incorporated both human ingenuity and Federation technology, symbolizing the new cooperation. Captain Sam Butler, who had led that first desperate strike years ago, stood on the bridge, surveying his crew of humans and 3 alien specialists. "Final systems check complete," Captain reported his first officer. "We're cleared for departure to Alpha Centauri." Sam nodded. "Let's make history again, but peacefully this time." As the Unity broke orbit, watched by ships from a dozen worlds, Sam reflected on how quickly everything had changed. The Federation had expected humans to either submit or be crushed. Instead, humanity had fought just hard enough to earn respect without provoking total war. Back on Earth, in a classroom in New Delhi, a teacher explained recent history to wide-eyed children. "The Federation thought humans were weak because our technology wasn't advanced," she told them. "They didn't understand that technology isn't everything. Our strength comes from here." She touched her heart. "And here," she touched her head. "Will they try to control us again?" asked the small boy. The teacher smiled. "No, they've learned their lesson. Sometimes the most determined fighters are those with the most to lose." Outside the school, an alien transport glided silently overhead, a common sight now. Earth had changed forever, becoming part of something larger than itself. Yet it had done so on its own terms. In the vastness of the Federation archives, a new classification had been added to describe Earth: emergent collaborative species. Exercise extreme caution. Below this official designation, someone had added an unofficial note: "They don't start fights, but they finish them." The galaxy had received humanity's warning, and it would not soon forget.